Huh. Okay, so today's video is dumb late. It's probably gonna go into tomorrow, and I apologize. But I'm here to present He's My Only Vampire Book 2. Okay, so this is gonna be kind of intensive. I literally took notes and it's pages and pages and pages long. Um, I'm not gonna go through everything I think, but I just want to touch on some things that happened. Um, So important things. I also show you pictures and stuff like that. Um, so book two starts is as a fight scene. Um, we see here that the dealer and Aki and Kana, my face is all messed up, and Kana are all fighting along with Jin to save Aki from the dealer. Um, The dealer is after Aki because at the end of book one, Aki gave some of his blood to Jin to save him from his lunatic berserk phase. Um, Now that we didn't know until that time that that is actually illegal, and Aki can be put to death for that, and that's exactly what dealer is trying to do because he ain't got time for no bullshit, and the game is on, and yeah. So Aki goes ahead and he tries to tell Kana, stay out of this, it's not your fight, whatever else. But she decides she's gonna just go up to the dealer and be like, don't touch my boy, son. And so she goes up to the dealer. Let me see if I can find it. So she goes to the dealer and she touches the dealer with her hands. Those filthy, filthy hands. This girl. So, dude, poor dealer is um dealer is freaking Pen Pen from Evangelion. Dude, the dude is fucking Pen Pen. Look at that shit. And the whole reason he goes from being like freaking sexy dude to freaking Pen Pen is because Kana's a virgin. Uh, what? Whatever. We're gonna go ahead and steamroll past that because that's some bullshit. So we find out the dealer now takes the time to explain what the hell's fuck is going on. Um, the one thing the dealer wants everybody to know is he is a freaking Tengu, not a penguin. Okay? And Jin is a freaking wolf. Alright? Not a doggy. So let's see. The dealer's role is revealed during this book. He is like he has three roles. He's the judge, the jury, and the executioner, basically for Aki, and he's also Aki's caretaker. Um, he's the one that decides like everything for Aki. Um, we find out that uh, the person who collects all seven stigmas, freaking Dragon Ball Z, all seven stigmas, will win supremacy and become like something like a god. Um, this is at this point, Kana reveals to Jin that he's trying to save, or Kana reveals to Jin that Aki is trying to save his twin brother, uh, sorry, his twin brother Idia. Okay, my brain just died. I have notes here, and my brain still died. Um, Jin at that point goes, "I'm in. I want to help. I want to help. I want to help." So we also learn more about the bond between uh, Aki and Kana. We find out that it's a little bit more than she's his thrall or whatever. Um, if he dies, she dies. If she dies, he dies. So it's kind of like they're kind of connected forever. Like literally, like there's no escaping this person. So like get used to it, bro. Let's see. Okay. Also, we find out that Kana can die. She can definitely die. She is only able to be harmed by sacred art, like sacred weapons, like the one that Dealer has. Dealer's whip. She can be hurt by that. It can kill her. Um, she can also be physically destroyed, like obliterated. If that were to happen, Aki would die. If the same were to happen for Aki, she would die. Um, so the next day, Jin returns to school. He figures out how to hide its ears and tail. So he's like, I'm going to school. At school, Aki is somehow able to get another uniform because this dude's a freaking thug. He don't care. He got another uniform. He walks on in there, but the feeling of the school is a little different. Everybody's a little bit more standoffish towards them. Before they were very inviting of Aki, but now that they find out that he's friends with Jin, and now that Kana is connected to Jin, everybody's treating them a little bit more mean. Um, Carry on. So Kana is approached by a girl from the cooking club. The cooking club asks her to bring 20 bags of flour. Now Jin offered to help her. She says no. Aki just happens to be at the store when she gets there, and he uses his hypnosis to get himself a drink. Um, but she quickly finds out that just because she can't die and she can't age, she does not have superhuman strength. And Aki tries to help her, but she uh, she refuses to let him help. Um, she wants to do it herself. And Aki reveals that it makes him angry that she's doing these things for other people. He wants her to be his and only his, but she wants to be everybody's. Um, let's see. He finds everything that she does to help other people as a waste of time, and she doesn't like that. Um, she helps people because she wants to. She wants to be able to be that person for other people. Um, so Jin realizes. I mean, sorry. Aki realizes that he is not. He's just a dude to her, and he's gonna have to figure that out on his own. So as Kana is going back to the school to drop off the flour, two girls from the cooking club show up, and she says, "Hey, can you help me?" And they go, "But we don't need nothing from you, girl." They're like, we don't need that stuff you bought. You could like bring that back, or we can like take it and then return it, and yeah, we'll give you the money back, and yeah, we'll just pretend this never happened. And it was revealed that they didn't want the cooking club didn't want anything to do with Jin. Now, Jin is a delinquent, so they don't want to be wrapped up in that nonsense. Even though it's kind of helping them, she's friends with Jin, so she's a delinquent by association. Same with Aki. Um, they show her a site that has some information about Aki. it's like a popular mobile site that they have. And I mean, about Jin. Sorry, Jin is on that site a lot. It talks about his rampage through the streets, his robberies and stuff like that. Um, and they ask her like, "Girl, why are you his friend? Like, you were a track star, and he lit a fire, and like, aren't you mad that he like ended your career? Like," and then they were like, "Were you in on that? You were in on that, weren't you?" And she was like, "Bitch." so like this is the scene. Look at her face. She's like, "I can't believe you would say some sugar coated bullshit like that to me. I should kill your ass." But yeah. Um, so in the next side, these guys show up. These stunning gentlemen. They show up and they want to mess with Jin. Now, to get to Jin, they go after Jin's girls, who are apparently these three girls because they were saying Jin's name. Um, they thought that they were fighting over Jin, which is not the case. Um, so Kana tries to protect the girls, and she's saying like, "Leave them alone. They have nothing to do with him." And so they're like, "Oh, but you do though, right?" So they don't give a shit. The guys, they don't give a shit. They take all three of the bitches. They go, "Y'all all going with us. Sorry, fam." So they all go to this abandoned ass warehouse in the middle of nowhere.com, and yeah, they're like, "We're gonna cut you bitches up, and we're gonna send you back to Jin, and it's gonna be funny." But it wasn't funny because that shit was scary, and you can't be doing that to people, please. But anyways, um, in the meantime, while all this is going on, Aki and Jin meet up at the freaking store. So they're at the store, and Aki is looking. Sorry, Jin is looking for Kana to help her with the flower. And we find out that Jin's been actually walking around town and apologizing to all his friends and everything, and trying to get on back on their good graces. And it looks like he missed the group because they just kidnapped all three of these girls. Like it was a okay. Um, we find out that the reason why Jin had set that fire was purely accidental. He gets irritated very easily, so he was playing with the lighter, and yeah, it caught like a little bit of dust there, and it started a huge explosion. Um, but he says like now that he has a reason to be alive, reason to go to do things, um, he wants to be a better person. And he decides that these two people, Kana and Aki, are the people that are going to treat him great and take him on this path to goodness, as it were. So Aki's just like, "So you are a dog, faithful, old faithful." Um, and then poor Jin's like, "I'm a wolf, please." Now, at this time, Jin's friend comes up and he's just like, "Bruh, problems." So Jin's like, "What problems?" So he's like, "This guy came up and he was like, took your girls." So now Jin's like, "My girls," and he, yeah, he's like, "But I don't have any girls." So then we find out, like, it's like, oh shit, like, we must be talking about Kana and whoever else Kana was with. Um, At this point, Jin sees the piles of flour that are on the ground right in front of him that were there the whole entire time, and he didn't notice until that very moment. On the ground in front of him, and he goes, "Ah, my thrall." So Jin, Jin and Aki now gotta find this girl. So Aki decides, "Hey man, come here. You gonna sniff me?" And Jin's like, "Bro." So he grabs him up like this right here, this shit right here. He's like, "Bam, I'm gonna grab you up and you gonna sniff me." So he knows that because of the blood running through Jin's veins, that he can use his sense of scent to track Kana off of his body. Um, um, so Jin sniffs Aki, and they track her to this warehouse. Um, but in the meantime, freaking Kana's over there getting naked for these dudes, like legit, just like taking off her clothes, girl. But yeah, let's see. There's a running joke in this book that Kana has a flat chest, but we already know that. Like, we don't gotta keep saying it, girl. We know. So Jin and Aki finally catch up to her. You see it? Boop, boop. And they walk in there like they own the bitch. Um, at this time, one of the guys was smoking the whole time, and he knocks her into. They accidentally knock Kana into a pile of gasoline, which doesn't make any sense. Why there's just gasoline just sitting in an abandoned warehouse? But again, I am not asking any questions. Um, so again, fire. This pro girl and fire are just like, I don't understand. But so she's now trapped in fire. She gets traumatized. She can't move when she's in fire. Like she can escape, but she just literally can't. Um, so now poor Kana is burning up in the fire. Like she's literally melting. But the thing about Kana is she cannot die. So she is literally like melting away and like melting onto the floor and just regenerating like nothing is wrong. And so she sees Aki coming to save her, like freaking Prince Charming and shit, through the flames, through the fire and the flames. Sorry, but yeah, dude is badass. Um, let's see. She says some twisted shit like, "That's burned up bits of me on the floor." All that stuff on the floor, like that's pretty fucked up. And then she asks the question that we all wanted to know. But like we already knew because we already confirmed that. But at the same time, it's like now we know. She asks him, "I really can't die?" That's sad. She's literally melting and just regenerating, and she has this thing where she's like, "Please don't look at me" and stuff like that. But he's like, "Dude, like I want to see all of you. You're beautiful. Like this dude's pimp." Um, and then he asks some ignorant shit like, "Can I bite you right here?" Bam. Y'all in a fire. Can we reiterate the bullshit? Like, you are in a legit fire. Like, people are dead. I mean, maybe nobody's dead, but you know what I'm trying to say. Um, let's see. he tells Kana at this point, like, you know, that fire that they had when they were kids, like, him and Idia are still alive, so, like, it's not your fault. Like, relax. And we find out the fire was actually in the woods when they were kids, which is probably very scary because, like, it's the freaking woods and it's on fire. It's not cool, bro. Yeah, I'm only halfway through and it's been 20 minutes. I'm gonna try to speed this up a little bit. Let's see. Spark notes, spark notes, spark notes, spark notes. So we move on to the next part of the story because nothing else is important in that part. So part 2 of the story is Kana wants to start a club. She wants to start a club at school at St. Agatha for helping people. She wants to start a helping people club. So, Kana decides that like they've got some great strength points, like freaking Aki. She said, like, let me pull this up here. She's got the three Y's up there. She's like, okay, there we go. So she's like, for Aki, she's like, I mean, you're a mighty vampire and all. For Jin, she's like, and you get a cute tail and ears. And she's like, for me, I'm immortal and stuff. So, of course, starting this club makes perfect sense. Um, of course, Aki's like, bitch, nah. But Jin's like, yeah, because Kana. Um, but then Kana explains, hey, you know, Aki, this can help you, you know? You want stigmas. Stigmas comes with problems. So if we're solving problems, when we run into stigmas, naturally. And he's like, girl, yes. Maybe not like that because that's weird, but like, yeah, you know what I'm saying. Let's see. They throw around some name ideas like Stigma Club or World Domination Club, but those clearly won't work because that's not right. Can't do that. So, let's see. Masayuki, we run it. Should they go to talk to him? This is where Aki finally meets, quote unquote, meets Masayuki. Um, he asks, I kind of like, dude, just open the door. And she's like, no, he's 14. You can't do that. No. So Jin's just like, so he's a shut-in. Cool. And then it kind of like, yeah, since dad has been in Russia in a while and mom's with him, they've kind of been separated. Even though he's in the same house, they've kind of separated. Um, uh, Sometimes Masayuki replies to her through the door, other times he doesn't. But she doesn't really force it because, you know, why? Um, he's in his rebel phase, she says. But they're really not even that far apart. Kana introduces him as your new living teacher, bruh. um, she says that it'd be good for Masayuki to talk to Aki because it'd be like talking man to man. But she also says that it's like since you're living here, Aki, like it's better to just introduce yourself. And then Aki's like, as your boyfriend? And she's like, bitch, no. And then he's like, as a vampire. And she's just like, no. So he goes, fuck. Okay, I'm Aki Kirito. And then he goes, I was sent by the Indoor Society of Japan. I'm your new in-home living tutor. This man is a god. So now they go to the faculty the next day to, finally apply for being a club. So the teachers say they can't approve them to be like a club. So they say go to apply to be a hobby society. So they go to the student council building to talk to somebody about that. So there they meet. Sorry, flipping through my notes because I got too much. I don't know. I haven't even been referring to these. It just helps me to remember things if I write it down. It's probably easier if I. Okay, so they meet this fucking dude right here. This is the first thing that they meet when they walk into the door. This guy right here. This dude. He is Hitaki Miyajima. He is a third year at St. Agatha. Uh, he's kind of like the bodyguard. He's that guy. He's that guy you don't want to mess with because he's freaking Tony. Uh, uh, so right behind him is the student council president. Sorry, and he already knows every fucking body. He names everybody by name, and he's just like, I know who you is already. And he's like, I've been expecting you. So we finally meet. Let me see if I can get a good shot of him. This is Itsuka Bernstein. Look at him. That right there is Itsuka Bernstein. So that fucking whatever, dude. Like, there's always that one character. Let's see what else we got here. So Itsuka, he basically starts playing fucking Jedi mind tricks on these guys. He's just like, I would never approve a club like that. Normal people would say, but I will. So he gives them an ultimatum. He's like, I help you if you help me. And that's the only way this is going to work. So he decides that he wants to find out who's behind this Saint Agatha gossip website. He lets them know already. He knows everything about them. Everything that they've done. He even lists things that happened in the school, but didn't say who did them. And they were like, that's me. Oh, that was also me. So it's just, he's like one of those guys you just gotta watch out for. He has a very dark aura apparently, but I think he's kind of cool. He names them the Curious Events Club. He said, if you're able to solve a case for me, I will approve your application. So they say, okay, yeah. There's their approval. So he shows them the Saint Agatha Gossip. Saint Agatha Gossip is a gossip website that talks about gin, talks about freaking Kana, talks about Aki, talks about things that are happening at the school, things that are going to happen at the school. Every time there's a person on there called N. N is a weird character because we don't know who he is. Like we really don't. So he just posts things and people just accept them as true. Like it's just like true. Um, so he posts something very worrying to the student council, which is this post right here, which basically says, tomorrow afternoon at 4:05, looks like someone will dive into the river Styx tomorrow from the rooftop. Listen, that's like the same thing as going people entry when you go to take the train in Tokyo. Like it's like, dude, somebody's gonna die. They're gonna commit suicide off the top of the roof, is what that says. Okay. Um, so Itsuka puts on a serious face and he's like, we need to find out what the fuck is going on before that happens. So that's what they do. That's their goal. That's their mission, and they take that on proudly. Aki tries to use his hypnosis skills on the girls of the school to make them tell him everything that they know about, and they just say the same basic shit that everybody else knows because they nobody know anything about, and that's the problem. Um, so they play a game. So kind of says they should split up. And Jin wants to go. Or sorry, wait, hold on. Beep, 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 beep. So from there they decide, okay, we're gonna split up. So Jin wants to go with Kana, and Aki wants to go with Kana, and Kana don't give a fuck about either one of them, to be completely honest. So this starts a little thing between Jin and Aki, because they both like Kana. So they decide they're gonna play a game of rocks, paper, scissors, shoot, and they both pull rock towards each other's faces. Violence. But again, she's like, you guys are like totally cool friends, huh? Because like you're totally in sync. Yeah, 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 yeah. So from there, they decide, fuck it, like Jin's gonna go talk to the boys. Let's see. Aki confronts Kana that night about her going to on the gossip website and reading the stories about herself, and she gets a little upset, so she starts to cry about it a little bit. He walks in on her and he's like, "Girl, you got red eyes," and she's like, "What you mean, though?" And then he tells her like, "Girl, you the only girl for me, the only girl for me." And she's like, "For dinner, right? I'm your dinner, literally. I'm your food." Huh? No. So the next day, we're gonna just go on to the next day. The next day, they go to talk to the computer club president. The computer club president is supposed to be like they're in. They get sent there by the student council. He's been waiting for them. They ask him to hack into the website to get information about it. Um, he gets in their shit super fast. Like he had the password already. Like he was just in it. He was in it to win it. So he turns the computer around. He's like, "Look at this shit." He literally shows them this shit right here. Kind of like,
Excuse me, sir. I don't know what the fuck that is.
so he's like, "This means that N has like no physical location. And she's like,
Okay.
so he's like, he's a god, man. He's totally a god. Like freaks out, makes this face right here, this shit right here, this shit right. Look at that face. That shit's intense. Oh god. All right, so let's see. So same day, about 2 hours later, they're up. All three of them are on the roof. Kana, Jin, Aki, and Jin leaves to go like find a way to seal off the roof because he's like, oh my god, we got like less than 2 hours to like a little more than 2 hours, sorry, to get this shit together. Actually, no, it's less than 2 hours. So Kana's up there. She's just thinking way too hard, like she usually does. So she's like standing at the edge of the balcony, and she's just like,
But like, what if he's like really a god, and then like, oh my god, I'm so dizzy.
and she just almost falls off and kills her damn self. So it's like, I'll show you. She's like toast dumb, but like yeah. Let's see. So of course, who's there to save her? That boy right there. Let's see. I'm sorry, this video is dumb shit long. It's like almost an hour. It's been like 40 minutes, and I'm almost done. I swear to God. So like, so Aki is up there. He's like, I get it. I got this shit. Like, I hypnotize people for a living. Like, I know what's good. So he goes back downstairs to the to the computer club president. And he's like, fucking confess that you did it. And he's like, confess everything. So Aki tells him like, dude, like what you did was too short. Like, he's like, I've seen documentaries about hacking that tells me that this shit takes longer than 2.3 seconds. And the computer president, he's like, yeah, I did it. Like literally, like that's his face. He confirms that he in fact did do this. I mean that he in fact did do. That he is the administrator of that site, the St. Agatha gossip site. Um, and he's like I said earlier, and is a god without a physical location. And Aki thinks to himself, he's like, well, that means that you've been hacked. You've been hacked. So he's like, no, there's no way I could have been hacked. He's like, unhackable, bro. I'm the president of the computer club. And the president's like, dude, like I think it's just randomly generated bot. It has to be a bot. And then Aki's like, bro, let me explain to you something really important. Your site uses hypnosis like I do. He is like, you have hypnotic suggestion on your back page. So behind the text of the site is a flashing sign. And all it says there is N's predictions must come true. And in the head of the person that's looking at the site, they're going, oh my god, they did that about Jet. Oh my god. And they're seeing in the background, N's predictions must come true. So Aki hypnotizes the computer president. He's like, dude, find out who N is and where he is. He's like, because you're gonna erase N from the site, and then you are going to find out where he is. So they get the address to where N is, but the problem is N is Masayuki. Masayuki is Kana's little brother. Um, so while they're confronting Masayuki on this situation, Jin's like, "Oh my God, there's somebody on the roof. Somebody do something." So, um, Aki tells Masayuki, like, I hope you're happy. I hope you're happy that your sister's been running around trying to stop people stop people from being killed, and I hope you're getting enjoyment out of this." And I'm like, because Masayuki tells them that he does this because he's bored, and it's fun. So like he clearly it doesn't have like it's not there. Um, so like I said, Jin calls and is like, "Dude, somebody's on the fucking roof. Like, get here pronto." So they rush over there to the school, and Jin's trying to push this huge stack of mats towards the wherever this person is gonna fall from. So Kana gets there, and she's like, "Oh my God, that's the president of the computer club." Right. So we see him. He's now in a lunatic state. He is a stigma. He has a stigma. So he's a ha 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 blah blah blah. You know, he's lost his mind. Um, He's saying on the rooftop, "And truly does exist. He descended upon my sight, and the word of God must always come true." Um, Awkward. And the whole time, fucking Aki, look at his face. Aki's happy as shit. Like he's like, "Yes, I found a stigma." um, um, and then Aki's like, once they're in that state, there's really nothing I can really do about that. Because he's not gonna share his blood again. Because look what happened last time when frickin' Pen Pen decided he was gonna have a good time. Um, at this point, Jin has arrived with the mats, and they're trying to position it in a way that when he falls, that it would catch him. But they don't know where he's gonna fall because his movements are all so unpredictable. Um, so the dude falls, and they're trying to push the mats, and shit's going down, bro. And who shows up?
Look at cute boy. Cute boy.
That's Masayuki. Masayuki has made an appearance. He is here. He has arrived. And here the sibling hug here. Um, so Masayuki, here's a close up of his face. He's a cute boy. Um, Shows up and saves the day basically. Like he helps them push the match just in time to get to save the president, the computer club president. And Itsuka, of course, shows up like a boss. Uh, Hella late. Just like straight up out the gates late. One second. Um, as you can see, they did catch him. He landed on the mats. Um, and we find out also that Itsuka already knew who N was, where he was, what he was doing. He knew that the student president, the computer club president, was involved. And pretty much it just turned into like, "So yeah, I approved you, thanks." And Aki's like, "I fucking knew it. Like, I knew he already knew, but he's like, whatever, let's just do it." Um, so in the end, the computer club president is suspended for 2 weeks. Their club is approved, and we've got a new problem. This is the end of the book. We got a new problem here. Um, Aki's nemesis has arrived. Sexy Pen is here, and he's like, dude, your nemesis is here, and he's like, uh, and more bad news, bitch is right behind you, fam. She's like literally right behind you. So at this point, Kana and Jin are walking down the hallway, and Jin finally asks her like, dude, how do you feel about Aki? You know, um, and he's like, I mean, he's like, not in the vampire thrall way, but like, how do you feel? And she's like, Aki's my childhood friend, and yeah. And then she walks in on this here right here, and it look at dude's face. Look at dude's face. He's just like, yes, bitch. So we find out that this beautiful lady right here is Aki's bum 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 Aki's fiance. What? And that ends this book. So that was like 46 minutes of like, but yeah, thanks for sticking around for that. Good lord, dude, like, whew, that book was hella intensive. The second book, like, so much information was in there, but it was so good. Um, I do recommend this book to anybody that's into the vampire thing. I'm not really into that, but for some reason I really like this storyline. Um, there's another book that I wanted to cover, but I wasn't doing this at that time. But I think I might pick up once I start getting those books back in. Um, there's a new one coming out. I should probably tell you what the fuck I'm talking about, right? What is it? I forgot the name of the book. I'll talk about it next time for sure because I'm gonna go look it up because I need to know what it is. Um, but yeah, dude, like the story is pretty cool. If you're into vampires and magic and whatever else nonsense, it is the book for you. Um, there's also another book that I'm reading that I will cover by tomorrow called The Ancient Magnus Bride. This one is actually really good too. It's hella awkward, but it's really good. Uh, fucking sleigh buggy. Whatever. But yeah, dude, like, those two books, total top recommendations right now. Uh, if I can get one in one, there we go. I know math. Um, Again, he's my only vampire, and also the Ancient Magnus Bride. Um, get him, okay? But I think this will actually end it for me. I have nothing really much to talk. I did this in my thug life Instacart gear, Instacart for life, bro. But yeah, dude, like, thanks for sticking around for like a whole freaking 49 minutes of mayhem. 49 minutes of me. Can you imagine 49 minutes of me? God, Jesus, I'm so sorry. But until next time,